Welcome all around the world to the episode 6 of November Project the Show.
I can't believe we made it.
And
and BG and Is it bad? Is my stuff bad?
BG is really blurry this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Not great.
Well, I'm going on mute. Good luck, guys.
Well, today we're testing something new because obviously we got bored of the things that we've been doing for the last 5 episodes. So the 6th episode is going to be completely different. We may like it. We may absolutely hate it. This may take on, or it's never going to happen again. But today we have between 1 and 50 co-leaders coming on, joining us. Is that what's happening? I have no idea.
Yeah, today, and Laura can tell you more because she has better Wi-Fi. But today is what we're calling the OG parade. It is a one and done, unless it's a success, and then we'll do it again. We'll be featuring roughly every 5 minutes a different retired November Project co-leader. I don't know.
And am I supposed to turn him off at 5 minutes? Like, am I running the clock, or how are we doing this?
No, you have control of everything. So if someone comes on and you're really enjoying their company, the next guest is going to be welcome into the room, but you can also keep the other guests.
Got it.
At this point, we could have like 14 guests on the show if Bojan doesn't want to. So Bojan does not know the guest list. Only Brogan and I know the guest list, and that's an important fact.
And if they bring something to the table and you want to keep them around, Laura said it perfectly. Keep them in the room. If they're giving you some flack, get rid of them. So Bojan, you get to play controller.
Or I can just mute him, which is even funnier. Just have him sit there and be on mute the whole time. All right, I like it.
I did tell Bojan, Laura, before you jumped on, there is one guest who may make multiple appearances. He's the captain of the one-liners. I don't expect any of us to be entertained, but we may see one of these faces more than once. What else? Before we get any guests, we have anything we want to do?
I would like to do the recurring segment that we call Laura's 5-star review.
5-star review
for you and me.
5, 5, 5.
Are you doing it or am I giving it?
No,
I think you can do it today. Oh, Laura's going to do it?
Oh.
Yeah. Take this back. So this week's 5-star review goes to our friends at Deuster Film, alongside with my ex co-leader, Patty O'Leary. Last year, Patty did the Wicklow Round, which is this circuit in Ireland, going for the FKT, which he got, but then a few days later, someone beat him. So he's not.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So he's not the current record holder, but the film is stunning and beautiful, and it's also about the running community throughout Ireland, the trail running community. And so they are running it. Is there an echo? Or am I just hear the echo? Okay.
Yeah, good echo. Yeah.
Video for free for everyone on April 13th, which is the anniversary of when Patty completed the round. So absolutely check it out. I think it's probably like half hour, right?
Haven't seen it.
What?
I saw the teaser. I haven't seen it yet. I live in the woods. We don't have screenings around here. And so I saw the 2.5, 3 minute long teaser that is absolutely crazy and ridiculous and powerful and like awe-inspiring. So I would highly recommend you check that Deucer Film on Instagram. But yeah, great shout out, Laura Green, 5-star review.
The one thing I want to add is that Deucer, for those of you who are new to NP world, Deucer Film. How's my blurriness?
Okay.
Deucer Film is the 2-man team from New Hampshire that has been making content for NP since the beginning of time. So the documentary that came out in 2016, any teasers that they've ever done, any coverage that they've ever done, like their stuff is awesome from city to city. So this is definitely like, we are like kind of one big family, but we're also just fans of it.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So I think in a few minutes we're going to have our first guest. But before we do that, Laura, you're getting ready to say something.
Well, no, I'm just curious about how Boyan's feeling. Are you anxious? Do you think you know who the guests are? I mean, there's over
I know about one.
150 guests that could potentially be. So
I definitely know about one guest because I think there's some miscommunication about the timing of all this. So that guest, understanding that I usually pull all the levers and run things, reached out to me and was like, hey, I'm looking forward to being on the show today, not knowing that I'm not supposed to know who they are or that they're supposed to come in. So I know of one, but that's about it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, this can burn in flames, or it can be really fun and exciting.
Guest? Who do you want to see?
Who do I want to see? I would like to see my favorite person ever, Dan Eel Metcalf, but we're not going to have him. I'm sure that Deej is going to make an appearance. He's probably the wild card with like one-liners. So yeah, but I'm excited. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think Danny Metcalf is going to show up. I think he gave up computers for this year, right?
Really?
Yeah.
He gave up all electronic signals.
I like that.
Can we talk about your change of scenery, Brogan Graham?
Yeah, like a lot of you folks working from home, I was forced out of my little private spot.
Your bathroom.
Well, it was also about sound too. Like if I would have known, I would have folded those clothes on top of my dresser, but they're clean. If that makes anyone feel better, I guess I did leave an office bathroom just now for this. So as far as sanitary reasons, like I don't know, this might be better. I don't know. How is my Wi-Fi connection? Worse? Same? Better? Better?
Way better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the OG parade. If you like this form of content and like kind of a turn back the clock sort of vibe, it's a retro. It's some of the best we've ever had, or just the most average. I don't know. There are a lot of big names. So from city to city, you're going to find people are super psyched for one person. Here we go. Laura, when they come on, maybe Laura, you introduction.
All right, coming out first guest out of New Orleans, got Lou Bartels.
I thought I was the last guest.
You're number one. You're number one.
You're setting the bar high, my friend.
This is awesome. I can't wait to disappoint y'all.
Well, I mean, you kicking things off with handlebar mustache and a hammock on the front porch. I think that's pretty good.
It was so thick the other day, and Celeste hated it, so I had to shave it down.
Oh, come on. You don't get it even during COVID times?
Apparently not. No, but it was received well with my other banking cohorts.
Nice work. Where are you at right now?
I'm on my porch in my hammock.
Clearly, but
ooh.
Are you in New Orleans? Are you like
I'm
like a real estate developer, right? You have properties all over the world.
I'm in New Orleans. No, real estate development, but I do. I work in real estate. Yeah. But we've been nonstop with these PPP applications for businesses. So it's been pretty awesome, and a lot of stress and lots of time at my computer.
So and just because I didn't take the time to properly walk Boyan through this part of his job. And I think I might have mentioned it to you, Lou. What we're doing with the OG Parade is we're reaching out and we're asking, like, what's positive? What are you seeing that's upbeat and great during these lockdown times? I think right now, especially with the news, like, it's easy to rally around, like, ooh, rough times. They're even thinking about closing the schools in Vermont, that kind of stuff, like the tough news. But we're looking to hear from you. What do you see that's awesome, whether in person or online? Like, what's great right now in New Orleans that you can kind of highlight?
What's great in New Orleans I can highlight? I don't know. I'm not really having contact with any other human beings other than my family at the direction of my wife. So I enjoy hanging out at home with my kids, time that I'll never get back with them. And then we're I think coming together as a community to support local restaurants. There are lines like around the corner at some of these places that are doing to-go orders only, and so it's good to see that kind of support for that kind of stuff. Yeah, other than that, I think just people trying to keep their distance, stay at home, and see if we can get past this quickly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you only get a few minutes on this show.
Sure.
Like, you better bring the heat, brother.
Am I not being interesting enough?
No, you're good. You're in a hammock, the mustache. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just not great. I mean, you're the first up. You're setting some kind of tone. I mean, Bojan's hand is on the kill button right now. I just know.
All right, so let me tell you this story, and if you don't like it, you can kill me.
At the end of this story, you're gone.
I had a client. I had a business owner email me the other day. He said he heard I worked for the bank that I worked for, that we were doing a lot of these PPP applications, and he's like, he wanted to see if he could get one. So we coordinated back and forth. Took me about 24 hours to get him approved for like a couple $100,000 so he can continue to pay his employees. And he sent me an email after I got him approved, and he said that he was really grateful for what we were able to do for him, and that if it weren't for that, he would have ended up having to like let all his employees go by this Friday. And so I felt really good about that. It made me feel like I was helping somebody, I guess.
Good man. BG, you're on mute.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Any shout outs in the NP community you want to give before you go?
Woody, man, I miss you, dude. I talk to him a lot, but I still miss him. Yeah. And everybody, man, I'm looking forward to hopefully them not rescheduling Jazz Fest for the first weekend in October.
Right. Lou, it's a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for setting this whole thing off, man. You're a legend. We love you. We miss you. And it's cool that you're living that dad life in a hammock in New Orleans. I mean, it's kind of what I thought we would get from you.
Yeah, man. It's cool.
Good to see you, bud. Later, y'all. All right. That was Lou. All right. Lou. I see. We're warming up.
You get it. They come in. They don't know. By the time they get their footing, they're gone. I mean, it's, and I hope we don't have to push anyone out of the door. He gave a shout out to Woody, one of the longtime NP co-leaders in Denver. Woody, little spoiler alert, teaser, whatever. Woody will not be a part of this OG parade today.
Okay.
So just don't.
I would also like to point the fact that Lou of this conversation is a completely different Lou of old November Project Glory,
right.
Which is like he wasn't married. He didn't have kids.
Right.
He was like a wild man, outrageous person. And now he's like the complete opposite of that. If like Lou of November Project days was here, he is not here. There's like nothing in between. It's pretty awesome.
So is the OG parade going to be sad? Are we just going to see it?
Right?
Is it going to be like a washed up?
Right and lame.
a lot of gray hair and like slow talking. Is that what we're doing today?
I don't know. You tell me.
Our next guest is already 2 minutes late. Not surprising.
So my first impression of Lou, I don't really remember. I mean, I got down to NP New Orleans like in 2015. It was raining the whole time. It was my first time to New Orleans. That was where I met someone named Mia Fredericks, who wore a swim cap and swim goggles, the Swedish kind, the very fast racers, to the workout. So she spent a lot of time swimming through the mud. But Lou was an interesting character. He was loud. I feel like my real first memory of Lou was at the NP Summit 2016 in Collingwood, where he was like by far the most boisterous person there, which is a pretty insane group to be the most boisterous. And we would go around the lap and say, my name is, I lead in which city? And his was just this booming, I'm Lou. And I just remember being really impressed and kind of freaked out at the same time.
All right.
We have our next guest.
We have our next guest. As soon as Google decides to bring him into conversation, Mary Arnold.
Yeah.
Hey, and
well, it's HQ now. On? We're trying to tone down the
the sort of like the rhetoric. So okay, NPHQ. I like
it's
it.
a little,
We rebranded. We hired a lot of consultants. We spent all our money on going from corporate to HQ. It feels better.
You actually probably spent about the same as like most guys do doing that. So that's cool. Totally. It's all good.
So the roles here are that I think now Laura introduces you. I think. I don't know.
Oh, I'm doing all of the introductions.
I think so.
All right, everyone. Welcome Mary Arnold, former co-leader of November Project New York City, out of Harlem, New York.
Yeah.
Hello, friends. How's everybody?
So good.
The best. How are you? What's new?
Well, other than it being like somewhere between I Am Legend and a zombie apocalypse movie outside, it's we're doing okay. The news has been pretty positive. Knock on all available lumber. The last 3 days, hospitalizations are down, deaths are down, which I never thought would be like a positive thing to be saying into a group of friends. But we're starting to see things turn around here in the city, and that's a really hopeful sign because it's been a very strange month indeed.
Okay, so I got a couple directions to go with you. Well, dozens, but I had to narrow it down. And then Boj and Laura jump in. One is about running, but let's start with this one. For retired co-leaders for this OG parade that we're having today, we're asking like for some upbeat, some things that you're seeing. What's great right now? Because it's so easy to rally around the negative. So what are you seeing in your community or, in New York City in general? Like what are you seeing that inspires you maybe?
Well, I think that the fact that workouts have taken off into Zoom space, not just with NP, but with a lot of the community groups, it's pretty fantastic. It's also really entertaining to watch people who have been going to like the same run groups forever try to like now negotiate Zoom space like while they're running. I've seen more people live streaming their runs in the last 3 weeks than I've seen ever before. And it's really fun when they're like live streaming their run and they've got their buff up over their face and it's like that nobody can hear you. Take the buff down, try it again. It's been really fun to do the workouts with Rob and Kev and Melissa. And I actually think it allows all of the leaders to kind of shine in their own right. Kevin is always like crushing it in the park, doing the workout. And he always has something like really silly, but he doesn't make a big deal out of it. Like he did the last 2 workouts in this giant fluffy red wig that I know is left over from his college days, but it was total straight face, like just played it totally straight. And I think it's really cool. We did a workout last week where everybody wore onesies and it became a game to see how fast people were going to take the onesies off because everybody's too warm in their apartment. That was really fun. And it's really nice to see everybody using different modes of technology or not tech. Like we've had a bunch of people sending postcards and gifts. I really like the fact that like on the back of the envelopes now it said did not lick in like big letters.
Right.
So I think people are doing that well.
Kevin, what's that?
I have a quick question. So you talked about kind of running and people taking it online. Are you seeing or hearing kind of like this movement against just runners in general right now because kind of like the social distancing and all that stuff? Like, what's your take on it?
I actually think it's just the opposite. I've seen more people running in the last 3 weeks. And I mean, these are some folks that maybe ran in college or some people that like clearly had heard about running through the internet and had never actually tried it themselves. The governor actually endorsed running publicly on his Saturday briefing. He was like, you know what, go out and run, take it up. You always said you were going to. And it was really funny because the newsfeed immediately after that was just all of these run coaches that I know that are like, well, hit me up, Cuomo, I can train you. It'll be great. So I think people have been super adaptable. And it's actually really cool to see running stores that have to be closed now take their fitting process online. So like they're calling people and doing FaceTime with the customers to help make sure that they get the right shoes. And I've seen it in a bunch of different running stores. And I think it's super cool.
What do you think of a group run, but with 6 to 10 feet apart?
I think there are probably places in the country you could do it. I don't think New York City is one of them.
Yeah, exactly. I actually don't think there's places, period, because I think it's setting wrong precedent. So for all the folks out there.
Well, and Mary, going back to when we all met, these days, because it's been a little bit since we've seen you, we're really into rules. So like
it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot.
So when
has changed.
We love rules now, so that's different. You mentioned I Am Legend, a movie that I actually saw in the theaters with my mom. We got to bring that up in every one of these NPD episodes. Can you talk about what it's like right now in New York City to go for a run? Like, have you found those quiet streets or those usual areas that are like usually like super alive? Because we all share the mornings and most of our cities are pretty quiet. But have you been out for runs and been like surprised at how quiet it is at all? Or is it just like New York as usual?
It's definitely like if New York has a volume meter and it's usually at 11, I would say we're somewhere between 2 and 2.5. It's very, very quiet. I've actually started going even earlier in the morning. Like typically I would go at 6, but now I'm going at like 5 or 5:30 just because there are still 8.5 million people and there's like, 1 million runners. And there she is. What's up, Ashleigh?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, hey.
I'm
so proud of you.
So,
I technologied.
I guess we should introduce her. There we go.
And the cat.
So, Laura, who do we have here?
Here we have Ashleigh Voychick, former co-leader of November Project San Diego, my college roommate at Northeastern University, and her monstrous cat, Stewie. Is Mila there? And Mila!
Oh,
The
there
whole
you
family's
go.
here.
That's awesome. All right, so before we have Ashleigh take over the show, Mary, are there any parting words, any last pieces of advice, anything you want to say to people that are watching this in the NP community? What do you got? What are your parting wishes for this, for your few minutes of fame here?
Find something that makes you happy and do it. And I have a prop to exemplify this, as I told Boyan earlier. So you guys are probably going to be like, what the hell? She's got Disney ears on. So me and a couple of friends actually started a podcast about the community of runners that enjoy running at Disney World. And we've taped like 5 episodes. I learned GarageBand. I now know how to edit sound. And we're having a good time. So find something that brings you joy and do that.
What's it called? What's your show called?
It's called The Earful Runner.
The Earful Runner. We'll give it a
Thanks. We're on Spotify and we're going to be on iTunes pretty soon.
Awesome. Well, good to see you, Mary. Stay
Good
safe.
to see you guys.
Great
All right.
job,
Catch you
Mary.
later.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Ashleigh.
What's up?
What is happening?
Not much. Just hanging here. How are you?
Some wild special effects happening over there. Where you
He's right here. He's like sniffing you. He knows you're around.
Are you looking at us on TV?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cool.
Because you're
Let that
looking
ride. Boy, just let that ride. So, Ashleigh, what's it like in
Same
You know
question.
what?
Same question as everybody else. So Ashleigh, BG and Laura, I didn't know that you're coming on, so this is a massive surprise. It's great to see you.
Well, what's up?
What's up? Nothing. Same. And everything. But
Is that your house behind you?
what's that?
Are you in your house?
Oh yeah. Yeah. All
Wow,
the post
beautiful.
convenient. Thank you.
Yeah.
But BG asked our previous 2 guests, what are some of the positive things that you're hearing, that you're seeing, that you're enjoying right now, as the world is kind of dark and gloom and sad?
Well, extra time with this one right here. Right, Mila? And she learned how to twerk recently.
Okay.
We gotta, I think
Demonstration?
with parental permission, can you, I don't know, how do we, maybe we shouldn't, I don't know.
Beads on, sweetie. There you go. And then dance a little.
Okay,
I
so
told you this is what it would be like.
No, totally. Boyan, get rid of her.
yeah,
Get rid of
seriously.
her. I'm cut. I would say really the positive things that are happening over here are just more time with family. We're just trying to make the best of it. Definitely going stir crazy, not being able to really go outside much. Here in San Diego, we live on top of each other. We have no yard, so we play out in weeds and alleys, but it's been good. I do miss just having BG in the neighborhood.
Oh, come on. You're just kissing up to one of the assistant co-hosts.
I'm just trying to get hired. I lost my job, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I didn't really think about it as much as Mary seemed to, but
well, it wasn't the text, but I know it was in the outreach, but that's my bad somehow. Let's put her on mute, Boyne. I don't want to tell you what to do ever, but
Ashley, we love you. We appreciate you. We're gonna let you go. Say hi to the family.
It's not really you. It's not really you.
Hey, that's how we operate this machinery. You gotta keep rolling. Rodricks,
quicker.
You saw how we do this, so you have to start pitching 100 miles an hour right out of the gate.
Laura,
yeah, more pitches here.
All
Okay.
Right, introduction, the next contestant. We have Rodricks, former co-leader of MP Baltimore and a current wildlife instructor.
Enthusiast.
I think that just about nailed it. Yeah, current wildlife instructor, trying to get into big cats at the moment, but I'm doing a number of different things.
I see it's a deadly game to enter.
And I have to add one more fact. Starting or hoping to rekindle your stand-up career?
You know what? I don't know if I'm trying to rekindle it. I'm just kind of taking a walk down memory lane when like my junior year of college, I definitely I thought I was pretty funny. So just kind of walking that back and reading my old journal live to the people on occasion.
I've been enjoying
It's not good.
There's some good ones there. There's some okay ones.
They're mostly okay. I mean, you came in pretty strong with the support right off the bat, and then I haven't really felt like you've had my back since then, but that's probably my fault, not yours.
And Nick, I can really relate to that vibe. So for those who are just climbing into Nick's adventures here, I think what you're saying, because I'm only lightly supporting you, you were stand up like 10 years ago for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And you wrote everything down, and now on Instagram you're going back and reading your old material?
Correct. Yeah, I haven't done a good job of explaining this. My junior year of college, I briefly attempted stand-up, and I wrote a lot of jokes in a journal, which is actually right here. It's a comic book journal. It's a DC Comics journal. And so I wrote a lot of this stuff down, and then in kind of a spring cleaning / quarantine cleaning frenzy, I found it and thought, you know what? Maybe there's some good content in here. Turns out there's very little, if any at all, redeemable content. But it is here. And there's a lot in it.
And that's like our show. It's like, it's not really good content, but it's here, you know?
Yeah, it's here if you really want it.
If you got nothing, it's here. NP the show.
Correct.
So one thing we're asking our Laura's, we're calling these contestants now.
Contestants, yeah.
Is during these times, COVID and intense news, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's drab, it's scary. We need to hear from the OG parade what's awesome right now. And it might take a cheesy turn, and it might be spiritual or uplifting, but like, tell us something that you're seeing in real life or online that is inspiring or good. We're looking for good news. Yeah,
we're looking for good news. I mean, here in Baltimore, there's I'm always Baltimore first, but there's a lot of really cool people. Actually, I know from November Project who either own small companies or, are just really active in the community. And there's a lot of cool support happening. And I think that's been kind of the buoy for me, is like watching, I'm at home working here, but, watching people kind of figure out ways to get creative and support each other has been pretty awesome. And then for me, I'm building a patio right now, so that's kind of where I'm putting most of my energy.
Have you contacted John Combs about said patio?
No, but I probably should. But honestly, I literally right before this, I thought about that, and I was like, John Combs built a badass patio on Instagram, on Instagram, mostly for Instagram, I assume. But then It's just there's just no way my patio is gonna look as good as John Combs. So I don't, as John Combs does as a person, and his patio did.
So we're adding
So,
a
I
new
don't-
contestant to the show, Laura.
Kaelan. Before I go, can I ask Kaelan one thing?
Well, wait, hang on. Okay, go ahead.
I just assumed I'm done.
It feels like it. Doesn't it feel like it? Doesn't it feel like he's done?
So yeah, I feel like I kind of. But what I wanted to say is, and I wanted to kind of ask the room, when you guys eat pistachios, okay, you get a bowl of pistachios. There's this fun kind of moment towards the end of it where I assume you put your shells back in the bowl, and then there's this little game at the end. Kaelan, this is for you, where you have to try to find the pistachios that are still in the shell that aren't just husks. This is not going anywhere, but I just wanted to say that that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I'm having a lot of trouble finding the actual pistachios left in my husk.
When
my husk bowl.
Yeah,
And to hear the answer, you will have to watch this show when it comes live on YouTube TV, because we're gonna let you go. Thanks for being here.
And before this, the next contestant, he said pistachios. Do any of you say pistachios?
No.
And then do any of you guys say Vimeo instead of Vimeo?
Shut up. I say Vimeo. All right, the next contestant is former co-leader from MPDC, Kaelan Dickinson. Woo!
Am I in it?
You're in it. And tell us where you are and what time it is.
Do you really say Vimeo?
In my head.
Oh.
I say Vimeo in my head, and then it takes me half a second to say Vimeo.
For the longest time, when I read Harry Potter, I thought Hermione's name was Heroin. I don't know why.
I can see that.
I'm an Anchorage, Alaska.
Everything you said. I'm actually really happy you're here because I wanted you to see how my eyebrows are doing.
Wait, here? I have a unibrow.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Look at all these. Nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look
Where
at
are you? What are you up to?
I'm in Alaska. I'm one of those people who, like, I worked in a restaurant for money, so I lost my job like a month ago at this point. So I know, like, we're keeping it positive, but because I'm in Alaska, I love everything about what's happening now. That's a broad, bold statement. But we were supposed to move to Alaska in like 2 months to spend the entire summer here. And over a matter of like 3 days, we got rid of everything we owned in California and stored our cars and threw stuff in friends' garages and moved to Alaska early without any sort of plan other than this was like a better place for us to wait this all out than in California with no income. So now I'm just hanging out.
Who are you staying with? And are you like, you're with your parents? Yeah.
With my parents. I am currently in my sister's childhood bedroom right now. And yeah, that's it.
And you're going to be living with the parents all summer, or what's the plan there?
Yeah, the plan was to do it for most of the summer, and now it's kind of like a May to September situation, which I'm so lucky. And I've said like thank you to my parents 1,000 times. I'm a person who can come home to like a very loving, welcoming home. Who's like, oh, you need to be here for 5 months? Yeah, come on, we can't wait. You have a dog? I'm a grandmother. Like, that's kind of the way that we've been welcomed. And my mom just was like, if you could cook every meal from now until September, that'd be great. So I am.
That's your plan.
Yeah.
I don't have any stock questions. I mean, we can just keep her on just for vibe's sake. I mean, she's pretty brilliant still. Nothing's changed there. No, I will say, no, I have one question. So Laura is coming to you live from the Cape in Massachusetts. Boyan is in southern Vermont.
Yes.
And I'm in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So I joke that those two, in this time of year, COVID or not, it's pretty quiet in the Cape. It's pretty quiet in southern Vermont. What does Alaska look like under quarantine? Do you notice? Are there less people at the town hall? I've never been. I don't know Alaska. I don't know.
As I frequent the town hall, I've noticed that. Well, so I went running this morning, and I saw a guy on his bike. There's a lot of fat tire bikers out. So I saw a guy on a fat tire bike. I saw a woman walking her dog, and I saw a moose. And that was about it.
Yeah, so it's all the same. Just thicker tires for COVID. I get it.
So like when we got here, we had to like sign paperwork in the airport. It was like, if you're Alaskan, go this way. Cool. If you're not, go this way, sit down, sign paperwork. And it was like your address where you're quarantining, your real address, like where can we reach you and find you? Because like there aren't that many cases here yet. So I don't know.
Okay, Kaelan, before we throw you overboard and just get rid of you, or maybe I don't know. Boyan's in charge of who we keep and who we don't. We might just mute you. I'm not sure.
So far, we'll keep.
We're asking all of these retired co-leaders in what we're calling the OG parade is right now when news is negative and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. What are you seeing that's inspiring to you? What are you seeing that's positive that you can share with this massive global audience on NP, the show? We might have 600 views. You might get thrown out of the show if you keep pausing. I mean,
I would say the best thing about having to pack up my entire life in 3 days and move was that I didn't look at my phone for 3 days, and the world is going to continue whether you read about it happening or not. I would just suggest giving your brain and your heart a break and like stop reading it, do something else, like do a day without your phone, which like I don't think I've done since like 2000 when I got a Nokia. I don't know.
I would love to keep you on, seriously, honestly, but I think you need to just drop the mic on that one.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That was pretty good.
Thank you so much for coming.
We love you.
We do love you.
Stay safe. Hugs to the family.
Okay.
All right, and our final contestant of the day, right? Coming out of formerly November Project, Virginia Beach, we got Red here.
Hello.
Wait. Sorry. Laura, can you do that again? I wasn't really pumped, but can you just do the introduction to him again? That was shitty for all of us. Can you do that one more time? Sorry.
No.
I'm gonna fold these clothes.
Red, where do you live these days?
I live in DC, so you guys have been hitting up all the DC residents.
We're fans of the city. What can we say?
Yeah.
Dude, we're everything. Question the BG threw out to everybody, which you heard. He asked Kaelan. Things are odd. Things are strange. Things are whatever. What are some of the shiny lights that you see out there? Things that are keeping you excited. Things that are keeping you motivated to keep going, to keep just being positive.
Yep.
Throw it out there.
I think a lot of people are being creative with content lately to try to keep you laughing. If you look in the right places, you can find stuff that is not so focused on coronavirus and the negative news. I actually joined Ryan Conrad on one of those virtual buddy runs that you guys did like a week ago or something.
That's awesome.
And he did it with a few other people. And I was kind of like having a little bit of FOMO, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Ryan and set up a time. So we ran this morning, and I never would have gotten up at 6. And he was just such a positive start to my day that I wasn't expecting, and it's been a great day.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to my friend and coworker Brogan Graham for that idea, because I, same way as you, wouldn't go out running on whatever day it was, Saturday or Sunday, and he was like, "Let's go for a run." And it was kind of crappy morning, and I was sore. I didn't feel like it. And the only reason I went was because of him, and it made me feel awesome. And then I put it up on IG, and then Ryan reached out and he's like, "Let's do it tomorrow." And so it's been kind of like a recurring thing, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really
I think he's been doing it like every day of the week, and
yeah,
I was just happy to get one day in.
Totally. I ran this morning with your boy Justin from VB.
Oh wow,
Justin Hall.
Yep. I believe so.
Yeah, dude's psyched.
Yep.
Hey, I have a quick question for you. So now that you live in DC, who's your interior designer?
This is mostly Maggie's doing.
There's no way that you went to West Elm and
She's got some nice plants and a mirror set up. It's been about 6 months or so full time in DC. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. And do you keep this as your office, or do you also use?
Yeah, my office is kind of right next to this.
Yeah.
So I'm just.
So this is a better angle for online content.
I didn't want to move my work computer, but yeah, this was set up for this show specifically.
And then Red, as they call you. Why do they call you Red?
It started actually at November Project San Diego, back when Lauren and Ashleigh were doing it. I showed up in a red sweatshirt one day, and they just called me Red ever since then.
That's too much. You were asking for it. You weren't searching for a nickname. You looked at yourself in the mirror this morning. You're like, if I don't get Red this morning, it's never gonna happen.
No, I think I just made it because like a month later, another redheaded guy showed up, and they were like, "Well, we can't have two Reds." So. And then,
I want to give you an opportunity to plug, because we had Nick Rod. He's a fly fishing expert. He got to plug his thing. Mary Arnold plugged her podcast.
Nice.
You do something unique now that you're done leading November Project Virginia Beach. You've taken to the streets. You're kind of like a hoops, like a basketball guy.
It is basketball centric. It's called District Basketball, formerly Virginia Beach Basketball. We basically hold basketball workouts and rarely play basketball.
So you're basically just doing a bunch of suicides on basketball courts.
Yeah. It's mostly just whoever I can get to show up somewhere with me usually ends up in the photo.
Do you bring a basketball?
We have played basketball. Obviously, given the current environment, we have not played basketball in a few weeks. But yeah, it was kind of a fun thing. You get some guys out there and shoot some hoops.
Yeah, so that's actually a great point. So how do you, if you want to go to your local basketball court, do you just kind of bring a ball, start shooting, and then someone else comes to you, and then you have to leave, or you yell at them
for getting too close to you? I have a lot more basketball friends in Virginia Beach. I haven't gotten the core basketball team up here in DC yet, but I usually shoot some texts, some calls.
No, but even like in this specific, if you were to go today, there's an empty basketball court, and you bring your ball and you start shooting 3-pointers. Oh, is it all locked? Sorry.
Yeah, all the courts are shut down. All the rec areas. Got it.
Sorry,
Do they have any hoops in Vermont yet, or is that?
Has Florida basketball been introduced to Vermont yet?
Only in Burlington.
Almost all of
it's the wooden buckets at Canopy Lake Park. You know those ones?
I saw a dude shooting hoops yesterday. And I just thought, man, it's a bad look. Red, one of the things we're talking about with Mary and kind of anybody in more of these dense cities, which now you're in, is like, where are these gray zones kind of netting out? You see people on IG or whatever doing the group run with 10 feet, 6 feet of space. And, we're asking our leaders to do a little better than that. It is the era of the solo run. Like, let's lead by example. And so the hoops thing, that just seems like you just don't give a fuck about the rules, right? I mean, you're touching the ball's touching the ground. Like, right. Yes. That just shows you don't care.
Yeah. So basketball's canceled. We put out a statement like you guys.
On black, just
all black, all text, just
So that was for me. That was how I knew it was serious. So the NBA canceled for the season, and then district basketball shut down. And then Laura looked at us and was like, "Guys, what are we doing?" And then so we took her advice, and so we pulled the plug. Anything else? Anything else you want to hype? Who's a good follow? Like, what are you doing? What else?
Big Ryan fan, J&A Racing. I got their shirt on. Boy, you're a fan of them.
That's right.
Just it has affected a lot of small businesses and a lot of people that you wouldn't normally. I mean, it's strange times. Weird time to be alive.
And on that note,
no, come on, that's a shitty note. You're the last guest. You're like the send off into the world. What are we?
This is episode 6, I believe.
Yeah, probably last one. Yeah.
How many have you watched any?
I've watched most of them. I will shout out Yoga Steve because you share him so often in your story. I hadn't seen his stuff in a while, but then when you shared it, BG, I was like, oh, let me go see what he's been up to. And he does these like 4-minute shout songs at 7:16 in the morning.
Yeah.
Again, a positive thing you can do to jump around in your living room at 7:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
Any suggestions for possible guests going forward before we let you go?
Oh man, who haven't we heard from in a while? If you could get Dan Leo on here, that'd be pretty good.
Oh.
Thought about it. We might do a reunion tour with him and Suze, just kind of make it awk. Fuck it, right?
Pass it out,
Just
you know?
don't tell either one and
reunion.
sign
You're
it
like,
at the
you're
same
coming on
time.
by yourself. It's like Maury Povich. Man, well, I think that's a nice note. Red, thank you for whatever. I don't
Whatever
know.
that was. Thank you.
Go
Good to
fly
see you,
Thanks
buddy.
for having me, guys. Miss you.
the best.
Miss you too. Bye-bye. Well, friends, how did this go?
It's a longer episode, but I think it was pretty bad. No, it was good. What was
All right, so we're going to spend one more minute to
Okay.
rank our guests
Oh, perfect.
from top to bottom.
In the first episode, this was my idea. In the first episode, I wanted to do this, and Boyan shut it down. So I don't think this is appropriate. This isn't.
Glad you said that. Well, we don't need to do it then.
Oh, come on, let's do it. Mary is the best. Was Hunter Camp on? I forget who we even had.
So
Yeah.
there was one missing guest, Boyan.
Andrew Ferentz was the worst.
In between 1 and 2, there was a gaping hole there.
Oh, okay.
I think it's one of those guys who you could guess just didn't get the email.
Right. Well, I didn't notice, but it was awesome. I don't know if we should attempt to do it again, but if we do, we're probably going to have even less viewers than this episode. So
Whatever Schwabi's dad says. If Schwabi's dad's into it, we'll do it.
that's true.
Yeah.
Mr. Schwabi, how do you think this went?
He's gonna be pissed. We didn't include Ben,
Yeah.
But, Ben's had his time to shine. He had that whole proposal video. If you've never seen Ben Schwabi, former co-leader of NP Milwaukee, proposing to his girlfriend, now wife, go on YouTube, look up November Project Love. I think it's called November Project Love.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tearjerker, or it's really cheesy. I love it.
Supported
Oh,
by
you know what we can do? I can say in the video, I can say the next video is going to be November Project to Love. So technology.
Laura, you want to close us out? What were you saying?